Somewhere in the world tonight, a bank in London will lend US dollars. That never touched the United States, not printed in Washington, not stored in New York, and not controlled by the Federal Reserve. In fact, there are trillions of them, quietly circulating through banks in London, Singapore, Dubai, and Hong Kong, moving through loans, trade deals, and financial markets. And here's the strange part. This hidden ocean of offshore dollars is so large that at times it has been comparable to, or even larger than, the dollar deposits inside the United States itself. Forbes. Which raises a simple but uncomfortable question. How can the world create trillions of US dollars outside the US? And why does the entire global economy depend on it? To understand this, you have to go back to the 1950s. After World War II, the United States became the center of the global financial system. The dollar became the currency of trade, oil, shipping, and international finance. If a company in Brazil bought machinery from Germany, they often paid in dollars. If a government in Asia borrowed money, it was usually in dollars. Slowly, dollars started piling up outside America. European banks, Asian banks, Middle Eastern banks, they were holding huge dollar deposits. And banks are banks. They don't like money sitting still. So they did what banks always do. They started lending those dollars. That's when something strange happened. A completely new financial system appeared. It became known as the Eurodollar market, despite having nothing to do with the euro currency. Wikipedia. A Eurodollar is simply a US dollar deposited in a bank outside the United States. Investopedia, a dollar sitting in a London bank account, or a Singapore bank, or a Dubai bank. And once those deposits existed, banks began lending them to corporations, governments, and financial institutions across the world. Over time, this system exploded in size. Today, estimates suggest around $10 to $13 trillion exist in this offshore dollar network. Circulate +1. But here's the critical detail. These offshore dollars sit outside the normal regulatory reach of the Federal Reserve, Investopedia, which means the global dollar system is only partially controlled by the United States. And that changes everything, because the modern global economy runs on dollars. About 87% of global trade is conducted in US dollars, even when America isn't involved in the transaction. Linked in oil, shipping, commodities, corporate debt, international loans, all priced in dollars. But most of those transactions happen outside the United States, which means banks around the world need access to dollars constantly. And when demand for dollars rises, these offshore markets create more dollar credit, not by printing cash, but by issuing loans and deposits denominated in dollars. It's essentially a shadow dollar system, quiet, invisible, massive, and occasionally dangerous. Because when this offshore system runs smoothly, global trade flows effortlessly. But when it freezes, the entire world feels it. That's exactly what happened in 2008. During the financial crisis, banks across the world suddenly stopped trusting each other. Dollar funding dried up overnight. European banks couldn't roll over their dollar loans. Global trade financing started collapsing. The solution? The US Federal Reserve had to step in, not just for American banks, but for the world. Through emergency swap lines, the Fed pumped hundreds of billions of dollars into foreign central banks just to keep global finance functioning. In other words, the United States had to rescue a dollar system that technically existed outside its own borders, which reveals something strange about the modern economy. The dollar is both a national currency and a global infrastructure. But that infrastructure isn't entirely controlled by the country that created it. It's more like a decentralized financial network built by banks, trade flows, and decades of global demand. And that leads to a quiet paradox. The United States benefits enormously from the dollar's global dominance. But it also means the world depends on a financial system that is partly invisible, loosely regulated, and extremely complex. Trillions of dollars moving through markets most people have never heard of. Decisions made in London or Singapore that can ripple through every economy on Earth. Because when the offshore dollar machine expands, global growth accelerates. But when it contracts, credit disappears, trade slows, markets panic, and suddenly everyone starts asking the same question. Where did all the dollars go? The uncomfortable truth is this: the global dollar system is bigger than any single country, even the one that created it. And if trillions of dollars can exist outside the United States today, then the real question isn't why they exist. The real question is, who actually controls the world's money?